What if you could know with absolute certainty that a woman is already emotionally yours? Have you ever been in a conversation completely captivated, yet a quiet voice in your mind whispers, "Is this real?" You replay your interactions, searching for a clear sign, but you're left with that unsettling mix of hope and doubt. I'm going to show you one specific, almost invisible behavioral signal. When she displays this, her heart has already made a choice. Before we uncover this, if you're ready to move from confusion to clarity, support this channel. Like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought. It truly helps us guide more men. Now, pay close attention. A woman's deepest feelings are rarely announced. They are communicated through a silent language of instinct and energy. Her true interest doesn't appear in grand statements. It's quietly woven into the fabric of her behavior when she's near you. It's as if the protective layers, built from a lifetime of experiences, begin to dissolve. She starts to reveal her genuine self, layer by layer, often without any conscious intention. The critical error many make is listening for explicit confirmation instead of observing the consistent patterns of her presence. True connection isn't declared. It's revealed through a series of subtle, unconscious acts. You'll notice she begins to reflect your posture, sync with your breathing, and adopt your vocabulary. This is involuntary mirroring, a neurological indicator of rapport. When this occurs, she isn't playing a part. She is harmonizing with you. Her entire nervous system is registering a state of security. Consider this. For a woman, safety isn't primarily about physical space. It's about emotional resonance. If her laughter becomes more unguarded, her eye contact holds a gentle intensity, where she begins offering small, personal revelations, her emotional connection is already forming. Her defenses are lowering, and this is the precise moment most men either fail to notice or accidentally disrupt by seeking reassurance or hesitating. The reality is, when she starts to emotionally vibrate on your frequency, an internal decision has been made. She may not voice it. She might even resist it internally. But at her core, a thought is forming. This person feels like home. So the real challenge isn't determining her interest. It's about perceiving the signals before your own actions make them vanish. And once you develop this skill, your entire approach to relationships transforms. Let's confront a difficult fact. Most men don't destroy attraction because women lose interest. They do it by misunderstanding the delicate nature of that initial spark. When she starts developing feelings for you, it's often an involuntary process. She might even fear it. For women, attraction isn't a conscious selection. It's an emotional release. And that release only occurs when she perceives a blend of strength, steadiness, and positive unpredictability. When she performs that action, moves into your space a little closer than needed, stays a moment longer after the talk concludes, or gives you a glance that lasts a heartbeat beyond normal, she is gauging your core stability. She isn't asking if you like her. She's wondering if you're solid enough for her to be soft. Women don't develop feelings for men they can fully figure out. They fall for men they can deeply sense. This is the critical juncture where mistakes happen. You might begin justifying your value, sharing too much too soon, trying to demonstrate you're a good person. But to her innate sensing, this registers as emotional neediness. You're attempting to qualify yourself for something that was already being offered. Attraction fades the instant she detects that you require her validation to feel complete. What she truly desires is to feel secure within your unshakable frame, to witness your composure remain constant even as her own emotions shift. When a woman's interest becomes genuine, she becomes emotionally translucent in delicate ways. She'll manufacture reasons to be near you, pose minor, seemingly trivial questions, or gently debate your perspectives. This isn't accidental. It's her subconscious mind extending an invitation for closeness. She wants to observe if you can navigate to the places she normally conceals. If you answer that playful energy with quiet assurance, not ego or indifference, she feels understood, not evaluated. And that is the moment genuine bonding starts. Because real connection isn't forged through dramatic intensity. It's built through the reliable consistency of your attentive presence. You don't need to pursue her. You simply need to remain centered, allowing her the space to choose to move closer. You see, women don't fall for your vocabulary. They fall for the emotional atmosphere you create when you are silent. That quiet self-assurance, that grounded stillness. It's what her intuition is drawn to. She isn't attracted to flattery. She is pulled toward stability. So, when she begins gifting you her focus, her time, her gentle attention, her inquisitive nature, don't overwhelm it. Don't dissect it. Allow it room to exist. That is how you encourage her continued investment. That is how you convert a momentary spark into a durable emotional link. Let's be completely direct. You cannot force a woman to love you. You can only become the type of man her spirit feels secure loving. That is the essential truth often left unspoken. Because authentic attraction isn't manufactured through strategies or manipulation. It's generated through emotional magnetism. And that magnetism emerges when you cease trying to win her over and start embodying a calm, masculine clarity. When she is interested, she doesn't require elaborate displays. She simply needs to experience your unwavering center. This means your voice, your gaze, your pauses, they all transmit something far beyond language. If she's offering you her attention, she is scanning. Can this man hold my heart without losing his own? If the answer is yes, her attraction grows exponentially. If the answer is no, if she senses your state changes based on her reactions, her instincts will retreat. You see, women intuitively test for fortitude, not of muscle, but of emotional resilience. They might present small obstacles, not to harm you, but to verify you aren't easily shaken. She may joke with you, scrutinize your intentions, or create a little distance after a moment of closeness. Most men react with anxiety and increase their pursuit, but that is exactly when you must do the reverse. Pause, stay rooted, and allow her to return, because she will. If she perceives that your sense of self isn't tied to her acceptance, when she feels that, an internal shift occurs. You cease to be just another possibility, and you become the emotional foundation she didn't realize she was searching for. She starts sharing more profoundly. Her anecdotes become more vulnerable. Her voice becomes softer, and she begins to reflect your serene demeanor. That isn't chance. That is emotional fusion. She is communicating without speech. I feel safe sharing my truth with you. And here is the essential key. When she starts to trust you emotionally, attraction matures into attachment. That is when you stop being a choice and start becoming a permanent fixture in her inner world. Even in your absence, she will think of you, not because of your actions, but because of the way she felt when you were calm, clear, and authentically yourself. That is the secret many never discover. You don't win a woman's heart by chasing her. You win it by commanding your own inner space. This is where it becomes more profound. Because when she's truly connected, her actions can seem contradictory. She might behave more coolly, create distance, or become unexpectedly variable. This bewilders most men. They assume her interest is fading, but in truth, she is guarding her heart. You've reached an emotional place within her that she didn't anticipate, and her logic begins to conflict with her feelings. Attraction awakens her sensitivity, and that sensitivity can be frightening for any woman who has known pain. Your response here decides the entire outcome. If you initiate chasing, sending more messages, asking for explanations, over-clarifying. You confirm her underlying fear that your centeredness was temporary. But if you remain stable, compassionate, and unshaken, a powerful transition occurs. She begins to settle back into the safety of your energy. Because a woman's most profound need isn't to be chased. It's to trust the man who doesn't falter when she explores his boundaries. Understand this. When she is emotionally bonded, she may unconsciously create minor disruptions simply to verify you won't withdraw when they arise. Not with conscious intent, but from deep instinct. She needs to feel that you can provide a container for both her tenderness and her turmoil. The men who don't pass this test are those who interpret her behavior as a personal affront. They become reactive, distant, or needy. But the man who succeeds, he hears, he breathes, he chooses his response instead of reacting. That is when her feminine essence fully yields. She begins to treat your very presence as a sanctuary. She'll rely on you emotionally without a second thought, confiding stories she's never shared, seeking your perspective, valuing the space between your words. She stops pretending around you. That is how you know her investment is total. But do not misinterpret her openness as a reason to become passive. The masculine presence she is attracted to is a dynamic, living force. It must be cultivated continuously. You maintain it by staying focused on your mission, by prioritizing your own evolution, not just her attention. Because the moment your sense of self becomes dependent on her approval, the magnetic tension dissolves. You should want her respect, not merely her affection. And respect is gained when you demonstrate unwavering consistency amidst her fluctuations. That is what builds deep devotion. So, if she's acting in unpredictable ways, don't be alarmed. It's not a refusal, it's emotional fine-tuning. She is checking if your strength is authentic. Remain calm, remain centered, and she will invariably draw nearer. Now, let's discuss the phase few prepare for. What occurs after she has formed a deep emotional link with you? Because when she is genuinely invested, a significant shift happens in her psychology. She begins to mirror not just your actions, but your internal rhythm. If you are anchored, she experiences tranquility. If you are unsettled, she feels apprehensive. That is the level of influence you hold. Once her guard is down, when a woman has chosen you emotionally, she begins to contribute without prompts. She'll start recalling minor details from your life, creating room for you in her schedule, and subtly adjusting her priorities to include yours. You won't need to plead for her effort. She will offer it willingly. But here is where the true test starts. Because the more she feels, the more she dreads the loss of that feeling. That is when she becomes acutely aware of your proximity, your inflection, your quiet moments. Most men misread this awareness as dependency, but it isn't. It's emotional synchronization. When a woman cares deeply, she senses your energy even from a distance. So, if your focus wavers, she will detect it. If you become preoccupied, she will feel it. That is why your calm confidence is more crucial now than ever. Because when she is emotionally committed, she requires predictability, not flawlessness. She needs to feel that your stability is not conditional. This is the stage where bonds either become unbreakable or slowly erode. If you stay engaged, continue communicating with honesty, and lead with emotional balance, she will attach with even greater depth. She will begin to trust your guidance, not in a domineering way, but in a grounded, masculine way that allows her to feel free. She will start expressing her care more openly, and the relationship will flow naturally. But if you begin to assume her efforts are a given, or if you let self-doubt enter, she will instinctively pull back because her intuition signals that something has changed. Women don't walk away when their love ends. They leave when they cease feeling safe to love you. That is why your internal peace is your most potent attractor. So if she's demonstrating commitment, if she's becoming more open around you, if her voice changes when she addresses you, recognize that for what it truly is. That isn't just fondness. That is emotional surrender. You've already earned her heart. Now your sole responsibility is to safeguard the very quality that made her fall. Here is the distinction that separates men who maintain a woman's devotion from those who only briefly experience it. Lasting attraction isn't about gaining her focus. It's about keeping her esteem. Once she's emotionally invested, her instincts perpetually monitor for one thing. Does this man's essence match his appearance? And if your communication, energy, and behavior remain congruent, she feels the security to continue loving you. But if your reliability fractures, her heart begins constructing barriers once more. When a woman does this, when she emotionally gives herself to you, it is a profound event. It signifies she has decided, whether consciously or not, to allow you to impact her inner emotional landscape. She'll start reflecting your vibe, leaning on your constancy, and connecting her mood to your presence. That is the degree of trust you now hold. So ask yourself honestly, what kind of man are you teaching her nervous system to link with love? Serenity or upheaval, assurance or uncertainty? Because here is what most men fail to grasp. Once you've gained her emotional trust, you become the internal environment she inhabits. Your presence remains with her even when you are apart. That is why emotional mastery is vital. You don't need to be flawless. You need to be reliable. You need to stay connected to your purpose, your passion, and your core values. That is what keeps her magnetically drawn to your energy. And yes, she will still test you, not because she distrusts you, but because she seeks confirmation that your strength is enduring. Every woman, on some level, verifies if the man she loves remains a safe harbor for her surrender. When you answer those moments with calm leadership rather than pride, she falls even more deeply because she witnesses something exceptional, a man who doesn't just request respect, but personifies it. So, if she's showing that quiet openness around you, if her tone becomes warmer when you talk, if she starts allowing her emotions to flow without restraint, that's the ultimate sign. You already have her. But what decides whether you keep her isn't charisma or control. It's emotional honesty. It's proving to her that your strength isn't a performance. It's your fundamental nature. Remember this. Women don't remain for thrills. They remain for a peace that feels like belonging. Be that peace. Protect it. Nurture it. Because when a man masters his inner stillness, he becomes irreplaceable. If this resonated with you, help us spread this message. Like this video and subscribe to Winds of Thought for more.